Hey guys, my guest tonight, medium Nancy Matz, is going to be talking about how to sense when to point your camera to the sky and take a picture of a UFO. See you in about 5 minutes. Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust. Turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you said well. So sorry for this confusion. StreamYard is acting really wonky tonight, and I don't know why, but at least we're on the air. Welcome. My name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host for the next hour. I'm also the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team, based out of Sacramento, California. We're 45 strong up and down the state, and that means we can get to you. It may take us a couple days because California is a big state, but we will get to you. And in the event that we are going to take a couple days to get to you, we also have mediums on staff who can call you and talk to you about your paranormal needs. That being said, if you're watching from Facebook tonight, and I know a lot of you are, and you haven't done so already, and you like what you hear and see, please be sure to hit that join up button, the follow button, because we're always looking for followers. And also, if you like what you see, thumbs up, comments, and all that good stuff, because what that does is that puts us up higher in the FYP and puts us out to more people. Same thing with YouTube if you're watching from YouTube. Excuse my allergies. Same thing with YouTube if you're watching from YouTube. If you haven't done so already and you like what you see, we're trying to build ourselves up to 1,000 subscribers. And if you could subscribe if you like what you see, that would be great. You know, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. So please do. Also, same thing with the FYP. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, give us a smiley face, and comment in the comment section, because that also pushes us out into the FYP. All right, I'm going to shorten the intro tonight because obviously we're behind 10 minutes here. My guest tonight, medium Nancy Matz, we have a surprise for you guys. And, we've been doing a lot of stuff on UFOs and UAPs, and Nancy can tell you the story behind this a lot more than I can. A friend of Nancy's was out walking in the early morning hours during sunrise, and she happened to look up and take photos of the sunrise. This was like in Arizona. It was really beautiful outside. And she took these photos, but what she didn't realize was that there was something else that was out there that she didn't see when she originally took the photos with her naked eye. And so I have those photos today, and I think you're going to be fascinated by this, because someone else who is very popular in the paranormal world was out walking Friday evening in New York and got some very interesting photos that are similar to what these photos were. Okay, and I'll direct you over to his website, so you can take his Facebook page, so you can take a look at his photos as well. So without further ado, let me bring Nancy in, and away we go.
Good evening, everybody. Better late than never.
Murphy's Law. They'll find us. They always do. It's just crazy that it went down that way. Yeah, it was really glitchy. First it said I was live, then it said I wasn't live, then it said I was live, and then when I started the show, it said, "You're not live." Live has ended, and I'm like,
okay. Haven't we laughed a lot about the internet? And so I was telling people I enjoy being on the show, because finally I get a platform. I can start talking about things I've done for 33 years and not sound like I'm Looney Toony, because I'm trying so hard to share. I'm kissing my cats and not coming on the show, and then I'm getting cat hair. Where did it come from?
You gotta admit, I've come a long way, because 2 years ago or last year this happened, I would have been in a panic. I'm just like, okay, let's
fudge. Yeah.
Let's throw it out there and just get on with it. Get on with the show. I feel so good. I had yesterday off. It was nice.
Oh, a day off.
Nice. Huh? I slept all day. And see, I don't think you guys realize. I know there's people that know I work really hard at this show. A lot of the people that watch me for Meetup know that I'm busting a lot to the show. And what a lot of you guys don't realize is after the show ends, not only do I have to take the audio and put it on the RSS feed, but I'm also doing meditation stuff. But that's when my work day starts, because that's when I start looking for other guests, and I'm perusing other shows, and trying to figure out who would be a good fit and all this. And sometimes I work until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And that's in addition to producing TikToks and doing content for TikTok and stuff. Because if you guys look at the times that I'm releasing stuff, it'll be 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And then it's like anybody else that gets off work, right? You get off, like the tail. You get off work and you're wound up. So then you can't go to sleep. Next thing I know, it's 7, 8 in the morning, and then I'm down for the count. So
Thank God she doesn't call me. I do appreciate it, and I like that she stays up late. There is a difference in the air, the temperature, not the temperature, but the energy out there. So when I start writing, which is coming up really soon, hopefully, and I can stay up all night and type. And I've connected with Gwen, who has the UFO pictures, and Jennifer in Texas, who's a writer. And the three of us may be networking at 2, 3, 4 in the morning because that's when we write the best, which is kind of crazy. But the energy of the world seems to be calmer, and we can work better.
It is calmer. And, you can work better. Your thoughts are clear.
Well, how many times have I told people, boy, someone's thinking about me and wanting to call, because I get it. I'll pick it up long before they'll call. Well, I've been thinking of calling you for about 3 or 4 days. I should say, I know. They wouldn't believe it. And I do have a cat, one. Hopefully you saw the big black tail. This is the smaller of the two. And he just loves if I play with his tail. I don't, so I'm trying to hold it down otherwise. And he's the one that will walk across this right in front of me. And he'll be stepping on the keyboard and everything's flipping when I can't see my. So I want to get started with this. I had this lovely lady, older, not as old as I am, but, or maybe she is an older lady, and she was just darling. She says, "Oh, you're so, I love this show. Can you do it slower?" And I went, "Of course." So I told Sharp, "Can we do one more of this show tonight?" And the one show that she watched, August 25th. So that's just a few weeks back. More than a few. Yeah, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And so I'd like you to make reference to August 25th, and you can do the there's 3 buttons just below us. There's a row where you can see the share button, SHARE, with an arrow. And if you go 3 buttons, they'll hit that and they'll say, "Do you want to see the transcript?" If you do that, then all these shows I encourage you to watch. Remote viewing in 20 minutes is one, which I recommend. He's a very young man, and I liked him. I've watched a few of them. There's no mystery. There's no woo-woo going on. I come from engineer background, and the minute someone says, "It's impossible to learn this unless you take $8,000, $10,000 course," and geez, where did I learn it then? So right. I'm going to break it down pretty basic. My background is an artist and a lot of detail. So then I went into engineering and a detail. So in some ways, it takes a mystery and the fun out of this, the magic, because I can break it down, hopefully, for you. And so the topic tonight, as was August 25th, is UFOs. It's all in the news. In fact, I just saw an article, and how come we're not hearing more about it? It's like the government's going, And so I think Shar and other shows, we need to talk about it more. And just on the heels of that, Gwen, who lives in Arizona, I've known her 20-some years. I got to be careful, oh my gosh. Shar and I talk about how many years we've known each other. And I think I met her in 96 when she was a student, but a reporter for downtown Sacramento somewhere. And we've grown so much, it's just wonderful. And getting back to UFOs, we need to, even though we're taking baby steps getting into this, don't let the government or whoever's wanting us not to know more. And it could be the men in black, could be, who knows? Like, we need to control the populace. We need to keep, $25,000 toilet seats so we can get to Mars. I mean, I don't care, but there is a good and a bad of it. And I said to somebody once, which is kind of a negative statement, I said, I remember my family, my mother's side of the family, American Indians, and every once in a while I'll make reference to that side. I said, remember when the white man came and they came to the country and Plymouth Rock and all that? After about 100 years, Indians didn't turn out so good. They had kind of and I think about that with the UFO people's landing. Who do we know is the the right ones and the wrong ones. And I love all the ancient aliens and all the stories. And the one was most recent I watched, I loved it, was the crop circles. And we had sent a message into space 26 years ago, and a message came back. And I love that. And it had on there our DNA, it had our place in the sun, Mars, Venus, and us. And so, in some ways, they also sent the same back. Like we had at that 26 years ago, we had 4 or 5 billion. And then they replied that we had 21 billion or whatever the number was. I went, wow, that's a lot of people. And they showed themselves being smaller build. Maybe they have high rise that go to 40, 50, 100 stories. And that's how I don't know. I don't know anything. But I kind of think this is the most exciting thing that could be going on in our world. We ought to put more attention to it, because how else are we going to get into space? Or how can we ask them, please, if someone gets a nuclear bomb out, would you kind of just turn it off? Would you help us clean the planet? I mean, I want to be questions. And then on the heels that I would ask, what's your belief in God, or something really philosophical? Let's stir it up, everybody, and maybe they'll answer, what's that? What are you talking about? So with that, as you watch me, I'm animated. I talk too much. I'm glad the screen starts here, because you won't know what my hands are doing. I'm always like an Italian. I'm doing this all the time. And Shara says, put your hands down. and so my vibration, I, as a human being, I get excited. And I love talking about this. You think after all these years, I'd think, gee, I'm getting too old to do this. And then someone said, well, if you retired, what would you do, Nancy? I go, I wouldn't change anything. In fact, if I won a lot of money, I would probably be in more shows, because I would love doing this. But I want to do those books I've promised. And then on the side, I do readings, not as heavy duty as I had before. But anyway, I just love this. And the idea that we can share this information and make it so easy for everybody. I hear someone say, well, then get to it. It's okay. That's what I do. And then whoever's thinking that, I heard you. I want to start with our vibration. And on the show, for my lady who called me, darling, we are constantly in motion. If we're even laying in bed, we're using calories up. Our body never ceases. And those of us who are more muscular rather. I was always a runner, athlete, busy all my life. And so I'm built like my grandmother on that side of the family. She was slim, but the rest of the family was not. I mean, muscular. I don't know how to explain it, but our energy comes from muscle mass, and I'm muscular. And so I contribute my ability to do what I do, to move my life force, is my muscle masses. And I always encourage people, if you're going to get to be a reader or you want to do healing work, you need to kind of build up your energy. And I encourage that anyway, because I think we feel better. I don't know. I know some very lightweight women who are very, very thin, and they seem to be high energy. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe the wick will burn out a little faster, but I wanted to demonstrate a few things, that when I'm doing a reading, I'm actually moving my life force from me to you. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to talk to Italy. And I love these people. It's always on Skype, usually in the morning, 9:30. And I just love them. I've talked to them. Their daughters are in the 20s and 30 something. And I started talking to them when the kids are in grade school, long time. And I've seen them grow up and everything. So they moved from Texas to the East Coast to Germany to Italy. And that's where they retired. But the girls didn't. And I talked to them. And so I'm sitting here. It's always on Skype. And I'm looking at them. And all of a sudden, I can feel them in their house. And they ask about remodeling. And I'll tell them, okay, the next thing you're going to do, in fact, they're trying to purchase some property next door. And I go, remember I told you that's where he's going to park his, oh, yeah, that's right. They'll ask about a daughter. And in the time it takes them to finish, oh, the daughter, I'll have put my mind to them. they send a spectrum of energy to that child. And then I find that child, get the answer, and then back. And I can do it within 3-4 seconds. And it's our life force that we manipulate. With that, how many of you have had a hug from a child, grandchild? And they always say, oh, you always smell so good. Now, if they say something, I can always sense, oh, it's grandma smell. So my daughter bought me some perfume, and it's sea clean, something like that, the ocean smell. I'm not much I'm a kind of a pine tree kind of a girl. I like the country. I'm not much on the ocean, but I like the smell of clean. So they have something called Sky Clean or um, ocean, the smell of ocean clean. And so I'm going to wear it around my family. So when I pass over and they smell that coming in the house, they'll always know, oh, I know who that is. That's grandma.
Yeah.
And it's not just a smell, it's a vibration. It's a feel of someone's spirit, because we do keep it. Now, you're sitting there or driving, you're thinking, what the fudge is she talking about? Well, the reason I'm getting basic about my girlfriend, my lady, to understand that we're filaments of the universe. I know we have molecules and everything, atoms and all that, but this spirit man told me once, and then years and years later I heard it. He says, we vibrate and the whole universe is music. I like that, music. And so on a YouTube station, they have Music of the Cosmos. Type that in. And you can find 1 or 2, 3 videos now where they somehow got a picture of the sky and they somehow figured out the musical notes to play. And so there's quite a few now. It came popular. Oh, let's everybody try that now. So there's more and more of different ways they figured out, oh, let's do this part of the sky and that part of the sky. And there's music in everything. So we're all musical notes, and the vibration, they say, heal the planet, heal yourself, is to align us at a healthier vibration. And you've heard of people saying, oh, I'm so off today. Well, it's very possible their music is off and they feel off. So last time I mentioned, get a balloon, blow it up, now rub it against your head, and then move it out, and your hair go like this, or put it on your arm. It does do something. There's electricity and everything. And I was doing cemetery tours for where I had met Shar in 95 or 96 at the downtown, very 10,000 plot lots, Sacramento City Cemetery, a huge 10th and H Street, I believe it is, huge cemetery. And I used to do the tours there. And that's where I met her. And it was amazing that the people would show up and the spirit people would show up. And I could not even have to see, but I could tell that a spirit person was near me because I could see where the living people were. But if I felt something other than the living people, their vibration would get close to me, I would feel the difference in the environment. Like, oh, hey, there's someone behind me. I'll turn around, hello. And sometimes they would go, oh, I'm being looked at. And all of a sudden they start filling in the space. Like, oh, I'm being noticed. Oh, someone wants to talk to me. And then they would start forming, put my hands down. Okay. Start forming their peripheral body. There was a gal that came to a house and she was just someone in the neighborhood. And she was standing there and all of a sudden this figure of a man was forming right next to her left side. And I went, oh, hi. Like, oh, who are you? And so he formed himself. And I said, oh, there's a golden rule, everybody. If you're in a place where you have a friend, you know somebody, and this spirit forms himself in front of you, what's a golden rule? You have to mention it. If you say, no, I'm not going to talk about you, you will never, ever forget that. You'll always wonder if you should have. I don't know how to do that because people who talk to me usually know what I do for a living. And they'll stand there not like they're waiting. But I described this man, and then she said, oh, you didn't say if he had glasses on. And I was looking at him, and all of a sudden he started creating metal rimmed ones. What are they called, Chara? They were round metal ones. And I go, oh, he's got wire rimmed, that's what they're called, wire rimmed glasses on. Oh, yeah, that's my dad. And here I given her all this description of his body, but she had to have those glasses. And so his vibration, he created through thought how it feels when he had his clothes on. Because I saw him only as a distortion in the air. And as he started to form himself, so I would pay attention, all I saw was a beige yellow shirt first, and then the khaki colored pants on. And I went, ah. And then I met her in the street, and I saw this bubble coming toward me, and I went, who is that? And this short, wow woman with thin arms, but very heavy. So clearly she'd been heavy most of her life until she got older, and she was like 5 foot tall. And I says, oh my gosh, look at this cute woman here. She just walked up. And then she says, well, how do I know who she is? And the spirit woman raised her arms, went flap, flap, flap. And she knew exactly who it was. Oh, that's the grandma. She was always doing that to us to make us laugh. Who knew? The vibration of her coming forward made me chuckle because she was always happy. So think of the vibration of that. Okay, let's move on because I only have an hour. We've got 35 minutes here. I want you to think about your music or your vibration. And as a traveler, the man who came to me so long ago said the music, he says it's filaments. And I thought the word filament, I'd never heard that before. And then later on, I heard someone say the same thing. I says the filaments are so tiny and they vibrate all the time and they create a musical tone. Well, then I started applying it to people. And I felt, and I'm going to make you think about this. As you go to a restaurant or library or grocery store or you're shopping, a lot of us don't do that anymore, but we did at one time. And you walk around and you could pick up the people who were heavy, heavy, heavy. Like, oh, I don't want to be around that person. They're depressed. And then sometimes a woman will be visible and next to her will be, and all of a sudden you look around the corner and there's a 4-year-old. You could feel the child before you saw it. I am the perfect example. I don't know what it is, but I seem to attract every child at Costco ever had when we go there. And so you get used to that. I can find a child clear across the room because I'm in a good space tonight. Yeah, I love this topic. It's one of my favorite topics. Of course, every time I do a show, I say, oh, it's my favorite topic. That's why I'll never quit this. And it keeps me going because I can sense difference in vibration. Most people shopping, they're kind of, Costco, you've been to Costco. Costco is the worst place for me because they seem to run into the back of my feet. If I'm not watching, people are oblivious. And so that's a dangerous place for me. I have to be careful. Maybe that puts me on guard so that I'm paying attention and I can always find the child. I know when I'm going around the corner, I'm going to find somebody. It's really fun when
the problem with Costco is it's like going to an amusement park because, like you said, people are oblivious.
Yes.
They're looking at the colors. They're looking at the sights at Costco. They stop in front of you. They do all this stuff. And that's just it's just
that's why
the way
run
Costco
over
is.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is. It's like going to Disneyland or something because everybody's just like
right. So I'm excitable like this, and my energy's big, but 75% of the time, 80%, I'm very calm. I like to be calm. I like to be peaceful. And why? Why do I like that? Well, I'm a type A. I like to be busy, but I'm not a high strung individual. And I think it was good for me not to be that way so that I could be calm enough to manipulate my own life force so I could blend with somebody. So let's take it another step. So if I said to you, think about all your people in your life. Well, let me tell you, I can sense Shar thinking about me 10 minutes before she calls, right, Shar?
Yeah.
Because she has ups and downs, but I can sense her because I've talked to her so long. So I want you to start thinking of somebody in your life that's high strung. How difficult it is for you to be around that person? Do you feel tired a lot? How about someone who's depressed? Is it hard to talk to that person because it wears you down because you're trying to fix it or help them or give them energy or give them a hug? Think about how people feel in your life. Now think of somebody who has a child. Most of them are all over the place. God bless them. Too bad we can't be like that all our life, right? At this age, I'm noticing a real dip in energy, which is fortunate, but I'm get to be older. I get to experience these age groups. So in some ways, we all have our own music. And once you start figuring out that vibration, that music of that person, then we're going to take it to the next step. I spent a lot of time on this because it's kind of fun, right? Um, I talked about it on the show last August 25th.
Mhm.
When you learn to be a reader, you have to move your life force from you to that person. Now, you could be using cards, but a card is kind of a catalyst for you to ask that person, their spirit, a question and get an answer. If you go completely off the card say, usually it doesn't work, but the card can give you an idea. And when you feel the idea, then you can answer because you know that person or you're going to be giving that reading to that person and you get it.
Mhm.
So with that, you're moving your life force around. And it is a process. So I'm going to take another step here. I would like you to pick somebody important in your life. Usually it's our friends, someone who tolerate these kind of questions you're going to propose. And I want you to call them up and I want you to have a sense of their life force, of their energy before you call them, while you're talking. I'd like you to move you and though to, and I know if I saw Char, I'd probably give her a hug. Char has been years. So 3 years probably. And we hug our friends. And when you hug your friends, it feels good. It feels like you know them. But we can also do it on the phone. When you're talking to, I tell you, my mother passed away in '09, and remember, I can actually remember now talking to her and feeling her essence because it's mom. Yeah, you can do that. I have a son in Arizona, and he takes more like the Indian than everybody in the family. Uh, he's darker than I. As you get older, you get a little lighter. So he's pretty brown, and he doesn't have a lot of beard, and it's rough, and it's like here. He called me up once. He was a man, and he takes 5 minutes with electric razor on the way to work. And I says, one of these days you'll love it. And he says, oh, Mom, I can't grow a beard. I mean, but if I close my eyes, I want you to do that too. Find someone you love. Someone's face is a little different. I can smell him. I can put my mind to him, and I have a sense of him. And everybody can do that. Don't pick someone you hate. Pick someone you like, and have a sense of that. And he's so perceptive. I know he knows I'm touching him right this minute. You know how we get, right? And I can kiss his face. He's quite slim. I can kiss his face and I can smell him. And it's nice vibration. He's like I am. He's very calm. And so I like that. I want you to find somebody you could do 2 or 3 of those people. And I want you to just move your life force back and forth. Okay. And then I want you to present a thought to your friend that you'll continue doing that. And I would like it progressive. I'd like you to be able to get together and maybe in the same city call each other. And I want you to move out further and further until it's obvious. Find somebody else you can do. Maybe you have a sister or brother further away until you have a very good sense of them. Now, what I'm trying to get to is that you're moving your life force and you're testing the environment. Because what the goal is, and I've got to talk faster, I apologize everybody here, is that eventually you're going to be so good at this, and we're only talking weeks, so you don't have to take months and years, is that, oh, big tail. I want you to get an old wind chime. They're really cheap right now in fall time, ones with the metal bars. At one time, this is my interest, was vibration. And I went and bought tuning forks. Oh, man. Oh, and I found a couple that I really like. I don't know if you can hear that. And what that does, I want you to find you. And I'd like you to find a friend who has, I know, honey, of a different vibration. So that when you're talking on each end, bang, and then I want you to feel her, and she will feel you. And the vibration, remember, you should find one that resonates with you. You're
Mhm.
going to know there's a difference in people. Within a few weeks of you doing this, I really encourage you to go to next time you go to dinner in a restaurant, shopping mall, gas station, look at somebody and see if you can feel their music or their vibration. And you're going to find yourself really curious. We have in Oroville, we have a substantial number of people who live on the street, houseless people, homeless people, houseless. I like the word houseless better because a lot of these are really great people, and but their vibrations off, or the ones, try it, move your life force them, sense their music, sense who they are, and it's not dangerous. You're not going to catch anything, but it gives you a difference in what it feels like. Now I'm going to remember, this could take as long as you need. UFO people are not going to go away. It's only going to increase here. I want to try something really hard. I would like you to take a tuning fork, 2 or 3, 4, and I want you to ding a tree. What kind of music do they have? What vibrates with them? So, oops, I put them down there. I have a bunch of these. I went out to the yard. We have a lot of trees here. I found an oak tree and I was going doing. I found them. I found one that resonates with them. This one. Wait. Oh, do it with your cats. Yes, I went out there and it was an oak tree, and it felt like I could move my hand right through the tree. I found that note, that music that vibrates their energy to where this could almost go through it. Can that be done? Well, you know how much. I want you guys to look up. I want you to ask the Google, how many pounds of minerals and everything else is there of us? 3 pounds. The rest of it is what? Water and
Mhm.
air. We are not solid. You should all know that. So our music vibrates with what? The water?
Mhm.
Right. So that's a little, I'm kind of like a lower note. I have had so much fun with these silly things. I've been, oh, I got both of them going at once. Which one am I? Um, have fun. And you don't have to spend a lot. I would go thrift stores. I would go to, I know that Rite Aid had them, grocery stores have them. I'm trying to think where else. Walmart probably has, and they're all on sale now. Oops, it just says, "Get away from me, mom." And why am I doing that? Because you're going to get used to what is us. You're going to get used to, we're not as solid as we think we are. It's kind of fun to find that out. And if you know the trees, you know your neighbors, you know the house, click on everything. You want to make sure that you feel the peripheral of people. And then after a few weeks, remember, we're going to have plenty of time, everybody. You can start out, those of you who are, oops, readers now, just take it with a grain of salt that I had to figure out these steps so I could teach you. It was part of me who I am. I was born this condition. I saw my dead father. I was 6 years old. It's just hard to take baby steps. It's hard for someone who does, like, there are people who are what we call the savants. They sit down and never play the piano. All of a sudden, they're playing a song they heard one time. Oh my goodness! You think I wouldn't like to do that? I've been wanting to play the piano all my life. So it's sometimes you have to go to a place of saying, "I'll do what I can do," but someone will say, "Well, then teach me how you do that." And you go, "Oh, what baby steps?" Well, you have to go to a place of thinking. We create the energy of our body. How do you do that? Well, the muscle mass. How do we do that? By eating protein. How do you do that? By keeping busy.
Mhm.
That energy radiating off of us is our life force electricity. But the rest of us vibrate continually because electricity vibrates. It just like this, right? So we have to find our music, our tone. And by meeting people, learning about them, you're going to find people have different music. And that's kind of an interesting way to word it. Out the back here and dinged a tree. I imagine my neighbors wondering, what the heck is she doing there? Right? So it was fun. I liked it.
Mhm.
So I thought, well, I'm going to talk about that. That's a good one. I haven't done it to the cats. That one here, where I was doing this, they go, "Arr," and off he goes. No, you're not going to touch me with that, Mom. the The best thing of it is that when you have a peaceful night, and we're almost getting into winter. Well, there's a good thing about that. If you have a very clear sky, there's not going to be a lot of people out. And so the noise of people's lives in their vehicles, noise in the neighborhood, everything will be quieter. And you'll sit there, and we live in East Roseville, Oroville rather, East Rose. I'm thinking about somebody here. Don't want to give it away. Who I was thinking about here, East Oroville, and we're kind of like in the country, going to the east part of Lake Oroville. And so we're kind of remote. We're up on a hill. And so in the front yard, if I go look up, there's not a lot of what we call street noise or light noise. And light noise is when it interferes with your perception of the universe looking up. And if you just put your mind to it and say, I want to find a disturbance. And the UFO that we saw just not too long ago, when you see the orbs in the UFOs, they show them on the screen like that. And what was I talking about? Vibration? Was I talking about the music they create? Well, they're kind of like a bumblebee. So you're going to want to think of fast, high vibration. Put your mind to the sky and say, I'm thinking I would like to find a high vibration in the sky. And just make your mind go from your left side low, up high, and back, and just sweep the sky. And the minute you go, oh, you don't know how far away it is, because we can reach tremendous distances. Our life force, I told you, talking, if you're watching this, hello, I'll talk to you in the morning. So 9:30 in the morning, I'm going to talk to Italy. She has 3 children. Didn't want to give it too much away. 3 children in the United States, all live in different states. I put my life force to her. What is it, 6,000 miles away? Back over Atlantic Ocean to the United States, all the way to California again. And then back to her and back to me to give her the information I found. How many thousand miles did I travel? You can do that. You could reach into the sky and go, let me think here. I'm in California. They're in Italy. What's that, 6,000 miles, 8,000 miles? I go there. She has 3 children. Each of the child, she asks a question. That's another 8,000. Back to her, back to me. That's 32,000 miles I traveled in 3-4 seconds. We all can do that. You have to trust that this is how it's done. Made it as simple as I could possibly think it. And in some ways, it's kind of fun to have a project and a new direction, a new excitement. Because once we realize that we can pick this up. So the lady that we're going to show pictures of, not tonight, but soon, her name is Gwen. She lives in Arizona. And it's her choice to say exactly where she lives. She's very intuitive. So she moved from Missouri to Arizona. And I says, you have to get yourself into a UFO club. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. But she's a writer, so she's written plenty of books, which it's up to her to tell you. And so I got on Amazon. I found some UFO pins that you wear. And I constantly remind her, I says, you got to join a UFO group. This is great. You live in fact, not in the Phoenix Valley, but somewhere else where it's even more beautiful, blue, great big skies. So I've only mentioned it 3 or 4 times in 6 months, right? So she goes out for a walk. And she just said, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful morning sky I have seen in a long time. She's a 4 o'clock person. Gets up, writes for a couple hours, then takes a walk right at the moment the sun comes up. And Shar and I got the surprise of our life. She went back to the house. She looked at the film. Every frame has a big old UFO right smack in the middle of it. So you tell me, was it actually the sky she felt? Or was it Nancy hounding her? She has to join a UFO group. And that never left her mind. Mm-hmm. She's so intuitive that she went out for a walk and Nancy in her mind. We've been, and it's curious because she's writing, Jennifer's writing, I'm writing, and we're putting some thoughts for marketing. We're really putting a lot of energy to it. So she could have thought me, and she'll think of me, she'll go UFO. So she went for a walk. Unconsciously, she looked in the sky and felt something like UFO and wasn't aware of it. Click, 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 click. Was it 4 or 6 pictures? Every one of them has this great big UFO right smack in the middle. And she never saw it. Never saw it until she got home. Guess who she called first? Nancy. I go, yes. UFO. When you meet her on the air, this is probably the sweetest woman. I don't know if she'll want to be seen, but we talk about calm, peaceful. Oh my goodness. So she was ready to pick up something. Now, if you're in a heated argument with your boss or your spouse or your kids, you had a dinner that didn't agree with you, your energy, your music is versus, don't ask me to sing, right? Really smooth. How are you going to have the perception that the energy is what you're looking for? Bumblebee, it's going to be felt. You're not going to feel it. You have to be calmer. You have to be, and that's why I think my husband has had a couple of UFO sightings. He's a very calm, peaceful person, and he's very interested in UFOs. And he just happened to be at the right place at the right time, including right here. So, being on a hill, we have a little breeze. So we test the air, summertime versus fall versus winter. We have the windows open at a certain time. So he went outdoors. He never runs. He never shouts. He goes, Nancy, get your glasses. Of course, I can't see anything. Get your glasses. I almost wish he had said, get your phone, because I would have taken a better picture of them what I got. So I ran the house and got the phone so I could take a picture of it, but it was then leaving. And it was close. Larry says about 3,000 foot elevation. Nah, it was close. And that was really big. But he's so peaceful that when he felt that, I don't know if you want to say bumblebee or honeybee or whatever, then he looked up because he could feel it coming. Listen, this is the brand new everything. I was talking to somebody. I don't think it was Shar. I was talking to somebody. All of a sudden, I could see on TV an alien. And I says, they're going to make their presence well known. We're not going to have any guesswork. They do want to be here. When is it coming? Because I got such a clear picture of it, I like to think it's sooner than later. But if it's such a big deal, then in time, the bubble, the energy of a wow that big, it's going to be seen as bigger, thus closer. So it's not always easy to tell time based on the excitement of the event. I tell people, I have a lady friend, I says, oh, you're going to get married again. Well, on her timeline, because she's only married once, widowed, now she's going to marry again, her energy of the wedding is this big. Now, if I told Liz Taylor, by the way, you're going to be married 9 times, she'd go, oh, fudge. That wedding would be very tiny on her timeline. So the excitement of seeing UFOs, excitement for me to see it on TV, I think it's TV, must be a very exciting time for us. It could open up the possibilities unbelievable if we allow it. And that'd be hard because I don't think we're very trusting as a human race. I think we're distrusting. And how will we measure a friendly UFO alien versus somebody who's here to look? What's that Twilight Zone movie? It was called How to Serve Man. One of my favorite all-time Twilight Zone. And at the end of the movie, it's to serve man. We all thought it was going to be better. And this guy volunteers, and his wife in the audience or somebody in the back says, I translated the book and it's How to Serve Man. It's a cookbook. And he couldn't get off the ladder going into the UFO. It was wonderful. So if you ever have a chance to see that, but unfortunately, I'm old enough to have seen that a few times. And we're going to have to figure out our trust level. Okay, it's 25 after.
So here we go. So, segueing into this, Nancy sent me the photos to look at. I looked at them. I enlarged them.
Permission.
And so
We got permission from Whit.
We have permission.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to go live on TikTok tonight with these things too. But There's another significant story not connected to this, but that runs kind of parallel to this, and I'll tell you that after we look at the photos, and you can decide for yourself. But here's the first photo that we got, and like Nancy said, she was out walking at dawn, and here's this one. And if you look up right in here, you guys can look up towards the middle.
Kind of like at 1 o'clock.
Kind of like at 1 o'clock there. You can just see it. It's green.
Green.
For some reason, it's green. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to give you the close up so you know. Okay. This is the same photo with the close up, and there it is.
Ooh, I didn't notice the other two bubbles.
Yeah.
The other two.
There you have it right there. It's green. Look at the shape of this thing.
And then you see lights going around it.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't look like a standard regular UFO that people have seen over the years, right?
Oh, I love that.
I keep hearing the Outer Limits theme. That's so much when I look at this, right? There were 3 photos that we got. 2 of them are the same photo. However, okay, so yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So this is the one photo. Now there's another photo that I'm going to share with you guys, and this thing moves. She didn't get video, but she got it moving in sequence here. So let me get this other photo up. Hello.
Oh,
okay, so there's the next photo. You can barely see it in this, but it's now moved over to
in a millisecond.
Midway. Yeah, in a millisecond, it's moved over.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
so
know
it's
how big
about
the screens are.
11:30.
Yeah, that you're looking at this on, but yeah, it's now moved over. Okay, now here's the enlargement of that one. Mm. And there it is. It's just moved across the clouds. Now, when she took these photos, she did not see this thing. That's what makes it interesting.
Oh, there was another one lower to the horizon. So,
yeah,
that's, I don't know. I'll have to make sure I send that to you.
Yeah. So that's those 2 photos. Now, the significance that I'm going to put the first one back up, the enlargement. Now, the significance that I want to share with you guys, and I couldn't get a hold of this gentleman to get permission to use his photos. Nick Groff, if you guys know who Nick Groff is, if you guys used to watch Ghost Hunters, Nick Groff was on, not Ghost Hunters, but Ghost Adventures. Nick Groff was out on Friday evening about 7:45 p.m. before the sun went down in New York. In fact, it was Niagara Falls. It might have been 7 p.m. And it's broad daylight. There's no sunset to play tricks. And he picked up and actually got on video something that looks just like this.
Yes, absolutely.
Only his is white against the blue sky. But he's got several shots of it, including video of this thing moving. And this is within the same week because she got her photo last week. He got the photo on Friday.
Ooh.
So if you want to check it out, you have to go to his Facebook site, which is Nick Groff, Groff, or his TikTok, because he did post it up on TikTok. But I was trying to reach him because I wanted to see if he would let me use them so you guys could see those in comparison with these, because it's the same style of craft in the photos.
Amazing.
But this is amazing. This is amazing to me. You look at the shape of the craft. I'm no expert at this, okay? I'm not MUFON. All right, I'm no expert at this, but the first thing that struck me when I saw this enlargement was, oh my God, it looks like the flying saucer shape that people talk about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To the traditional look.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have a conversation. Oh, they could be our people from our future. Absolutely. Or they could be from interstellar, Skinwalker Ranch, go through the wormhole kind of a thing. Absolutely. Other people have approached me and said, well, parallel universe, multiple dimensions. Hey, White Files, absolutely. Look it up. They had a great show on it. What do I know? They're here. They're there.
Yeah.
I am not the only one who's seen them. Like I said, my husband had 2 experiences, once in Hornbrook and once here. And that was no minor sighting in Hornbrook. Montague.
But I can tell you, when I came across the Nick Groff ones, when it came through my Facebook feed, I fell off my chair because I thought, oh my God, it's almost, if he was in Arizona, we could say it was the same UFO, okay? Because it looks that close in shape. But again, for some reason, this one is green, and the one he has is white because it's broad daylight when you took the shot.
What I'd like to explore, and I don't know how to do this, is there was a show and they were talking about how they're camouflaging themselves.
Yes.
We can't see it with our eyes, but the
Right.
camera picks it up. So what is different in the camera's filters that are not with our own eyes? I'd like a pair of glasses that has that filter. And what's that movie that came out and this guy found a box of sunglasses, he puts them on, and he walks around town and he sees the aliens. They have camouflaged themselves to look like humans, but the glasses stripped away their human look. They came. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They're here.
Well, actually, I had a guest on, last month? Was it last month? And the gentleman had made his own filters for this. And so he's been getting thousands and thousands of photos of these UFOs with this.
Okay, there you are.
He
I
designed.
just said that.
Yeah, with this camera filter that he designed. So there are filters out there, but this is incredible. And like I said, look at the shape of this thing, and then go over to Nick Groff's page and look at his, and look at the shape of his. Mm-hmm. It's the same shape, and that's what struck me. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, it's clearly the same shape. So I don't think you can deny this. I mean, there's going to be people that can debunk this. I know comments on his. There were a couple comments on there about it being a drone or something, but it's hard, and there's going to be skeptics no matter what you do. And the gentleman that did the skeptical look into it, I respect him completely. The guy's real sharp, but
I respect my friend too. And this is, I don't think a drone would be up at 5:30 in the morning doing whatever. No. So but like I said, I encourage you to go over to Nick to see, after the show, to go check out what Nick Groff thought, because it is. If you look at this one and you look at that one, even though his is white and this one's green, it's the same shape craft. Exciting! I love it.
It's exciting.
It very is. It's more exciting. It's more exciting when it happens in your life. Like I said to my friend, and she calls me up and she goes, "I just can't believe this. I never saw it there."
Yeah. It's incredible. It's an incredible shot. Never thought I'd ever see anything like that. I mean, coming in from people somebody I know. You know what I mean? It's just, they're so rare. It's so rare. That's why it's things like this and Bigfoot, and you wonder, because with everybody carrying a cell phone, why the photos aren't better. And I think it's because it happened so fast that you can only get this. Like with you, you ran back in the house, it was gone. Now, I'm trying to get this gentleman on my show that was on, I'm not going to say what show last night, and he has the same theory about Sasquatch that I have.
What?
That that the aliens were trying to create beyond the Cro-Magnon to have that link, to have a creature that was between that and what became the human Neanderthal and all that. Mm-hmm. And he has the same theory I do, that they created this race and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. So they just put them back in the woods and then they multiplied.
Get out of here. We don't want you.
I've always had. Yeah, it's the theory I've always had
just
about
go on your way and die out. Well, they
what Sasquatch is. But then they didn't die out. They're still out there, right? But anyway, we wanted to share that with you tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, I encourage you after the show to go over to Nick Groff's site and look at his photos. I'm going to go live with these on TikTok after I do the meditation tonight. I'm going to see what see what comments we get off of them. But I'm really excited about this. This is great. And I can't wait to have Glenn come on the show and talk to her about it, because she's going to come on and talk about her experience with these things, and seeing them. But it's an incredible shot. Absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And I went through it, like I said, with
where are you?
I went through it. I'm just reading. I went through it with Photoshop, and I enlarged it even bigger to look at it. So I really went over it, not like I do those ghost photos or those ghost videos that I've been
Yeah.
presenting. Yeah, I
To
went through
analyze
it.
it, you have to look at
Yeah,
it
to
really
analyze
close.
it. I mean, there's certain ways to analyze photos, and there's certain steps you do, like even with
Right.
paranormal
Layer
stuff.
it. See if it's layered or other things
Yeah,
going on.
you look at them in reverse contrast and all this other stuff
Mm-hmm.
to see what's going on. But this is incredible stuff. It's incredible stuff. So wanted to share them with you. That's why Nancy came on tonight, so we could have a show about it. We'll talk about tomorrow
Perfect.
night now. Now, I haven't got a confirmation from this gentleman yet, but his name is Professor Kevin Newth. And Professor Newth is a physicist, and he believes that he knows what types of propulsion systems these crafts are using.
The UFO
So,
propulsion
yeah,
systems.
the UFO propulsion systems. Yeah, he studied this all his life. So he's supposed to be on tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. The way the
Good,
week's
good.
gone,
Get our
we don't
answers.
know. Yeah, to get some answers from
Think of
him.
it like a hummingbird or a bumblebee.
Yeah, right. And just a heads up for Thursday's show, I pre-recorded the interview back last Tuesday with this gentleman, and so I'm just giving you guys a heads up that'll be on YouTube. And I'm not taking a night off. It's a pre-recorded show, so I wanted to bring that gentleman, but it's not UFO. It's more about ocean conservation and conserving the creatures of the ocean and stuff like that. So it's kind of a different pace. So I just want to let you guys know that that's going to be happening. But tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, Professor Kevin Newth is supposed to be on here, and we're going to be talking about the propulsion systems for these things. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you, and the spiel is this. Nancy will be back with us on Friday for the usual show. But if you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 of your enemies. We are equal opportunity here, right? Because we're just trying to get the word out. Give me some smiley faces and some thumbs up. Show us some love. But otherwise, I'm going to put Nancy's information out there, and we're going to call it a night. And I got to get a meditation thing going. And yeah, so it was great to have you guys here. And tomorrow is another day, as they say. So here we go. And here's Nancy's information. Websites, nancymatz.com, nancymatzauthor.com. The N, M, and A are capped. YouTube.com/nancymatzpsychic. The N, M, and P are capped. The books are Help Get Me Out of This Funk. Two Worlds, Developing Your Psychic Skills. And The Unwilling Sacrifice. And of course, you can pick those up at Amazon.com. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. And hopefully we'll be talking about propulsion. Have a great one.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming.